Adam,
Yes.
get your water out of the way.
Oh.
I don't know if it's on camera or not, but thank you, sir. Hootie hoo.
I guess at 6:59 I should do something, right?
It's almost time. Yeah. What is that? I know.
Mother's Finest.
Oh, yeah. What's the name of the song? I know it.
This one?
No, the Mother's Finest thing we were just singing.
Piece of the Rock.
Piece of the Rock. Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Miller's Ale House on a wonderful Wednesday evening. My name's Chuck Burns, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Mr. Robert Kennedy. Robbie, hootie hoo! I'm telling you, what a week we have had with the Kennesaw State sports program. It has been one wild week.
I tell you, I don't know who first built a hotel within walking distance of this place, but they're booked this week.
Yeah, we've had quite a few schools on campus this week, haven't we?
I believe we're going to have 13 different universities from Monday through Sunday here on campus.
That's pretty crazy.
That's a lot.
That's pretty crazy. We're going to talk to somebody a little bit later about the beginning of the marketing program for sports here at KSU with Miss Heather Pennington. So we'll get into that a little bit more as we get into the show. But let's talk about all the great things that have happened this week. We did have a couple of blips on the schedule. One of them was the men's tennis team went down to Georgia Tech and got beat 5-3. But I think it's their first loss for the year. So kudos to the tennis team playing Tech. Obviously a much more renowned school than KSU, but not larger. So we're going to get in. Not larger. We're number 2, baby. And we're getting into some good things going on at KSU. As Robert said, 13 different schools on campus. That's amazing stuff going on.
I mean, that's a busy. I don't care if you're UCLA or Ohio State. 13 different universities visiting your campus in a 1 week. That's pretty incredible.
That's large.
It is.
That's large. So what else is going on in the sports world at KSU this week,
well,
Robert?
You know, Donovan Cash had another huge weekend this weekend for Coach Coe's Diamond Owls, and they swept the series and looking good. You know, we're up to 5-1, and we actually just lost earlier today to the Yellow Jackets, but we are inviting the Jesuits from Boston College into town over the weekend. So you know that's a big matchup.
The Jesuits? I thought they were the Eagles.
They are the Eagles, but it's a Jesuit school.
Okay. All right. That's fine then. All right. So Boston College is coming into town. We know the softball girls beat Samford last night.
They did, but, you know, last weekend they went to the Bama Bash, and the Bama Bash did not start out so well. We dropped our first 4. But, you know, if ever you're going to make your mark, make it on that last game on Sunday.
When they beat Bama.
Slapped the Tide in the head.
Bama was number 5 and number 6 in the country?
Yeah. Top 10 team in the country, and slapped them on our way out the door. So that was a nice win.
You got to love it when you slap Bama.
It's always fun when you slap Bama. And the softball girls will be hosting their very own I-75 challenge this weekend. So coming into town, you'll have Northern Iowa, Southern Miss, and Brown.
Wow.
So those three of the
13 schools that we talked about earlier?
Absolutely. The lacrosse team went out to Oregon, did not fare so well, but, you know, 3,000 miles there and back can kind of take it out on you. They'll get back to it next Wednesday at, who are they going? They're going to Radford in Virginia.
Yep.
So that'll be coming. And then friend of the show, the women's golf team head coach, Aaron Thorne. Thank you, Aaron, for your continued support of the Owls program. They had a great week. Did you see what they did?
The second place?
They came in second place. And if you looked at it, it was 18 teams. So, you know, coming in second out of 18 teams is pretty impressive no matter what. Auburn, Virginia, Duke. You got to imagine Duke's got a pretty good golf team.
Not like Detroit Mercy or anything.
That's correct. So, huge boost for them. I'd call it a win, but technically it wasn't a win. It was a second place. But the team that won, who was that? That was, I think it was, I'm looking at the list. I want to say it was Rutgers, but
Rutgers?
That doesn't seem right. Whoever won, it's their second win in a row.
Wow.
So they're a golf team that's dominating everybody right now. So coming in second's not too bad behind them.
And we also, the track team both came in second.
Cross country, the women finished 13 in the NCAA South Regionals, which is a record for the indoor track and field team.
And we have like number 2 shot putter and a number 5 weight thrower or something.
And we know we got one of the best javelin throwers who likes to frequent the end of the table. So,
Caitlin, she's usually here. I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. I wonder if she's out. I guess she's out throwing the javelin.
She's throwing things, and I'm not going to bother her while she's throwing things.
No, we don't want to bother anybody when they're throwing things.
Anybody who can throw things at me from 100 yards away, I don't need to bother with.
Especially if they're good, like Caitlin and
Absolutely.
the other Owls are. So that's pretty cool. Anything else going on before we get into basketball?
Just as a follow-up on the cross country, Sarah Hendrick, most decorated track and field star in KSU history. This was her final cross country race.
Wow.
On to the outdoor and ready to have some fun.
And I think the guys are playing golf down in Puerto Rico right now.
It's tough being a golfer.
It's tough being an Owl golfer, isn't it?
Crazy fun.
That's crazy.
And then there's something else going on. Oh, that's right. Is there basketball going on right now, Chuck?
Well, yeah, a little basketball going on. Actually, last Thursday night, I went to watch the Lady Owls play. Let's go back a day. Last Wednesday, while we were on the show with Simeon Cottle's dad, we were beating North Alabama over in Huntsville, and that put us one win away from locking up the ASUN championship. Thursday night, unfortunately, the girls did not see as good much luck against Florida Gulf Coast. They waxed us pretty bad up here. That Florida Gulf Coast women's team is a really, really good team. Friday night, the guys went to Central Arkansas and slammed down the ASUN title, which was fantastic. Go Owls, hootie hoo, and all that stuff. Hootie big hoo. And then Saturday, the girls got back on the winning note, beating I think it was Queens 70-57. Very, very good basketball game. They looked a lot better. And the coolest thing that happened Saturday after the game was the men team were back from Central Arkansas, and they had a net cutting down ceremony, which I got to be a part of. And it was just so much fun. It was so much fun. Got to meet Coach Amir and a lot of the players. Like I said, we had Simeon Cottle's dad on last week.
And a shout-out real quick to his dad again. Simeon was playing in a very important game, and Chuck didn't even realize because normally they play on Thursdays, and here's this guy who's sitting there, can't watch the game or anything else, but he was here for the show.
Dwayne was here for the show. He's an awesome dude, Dwayne Cottle, and we're going to have him back on. And fortunately, I got to meet Simeon Saturday. And he said, dude, my dad told me how much fun he had on your show. I said, well, we expect you to be here as soon as the season's over. And
Absolutely.
He said, absolutely. And I know Chris Youngblood is now an NIL student or an NIL athlete, so he'll be coming on the show. And I think Damon Robertson's the other one.
I just want to throw out there, if there's anybody who deserves pizza money, it's probably him.
Yeah, probably so.
Give him some NIL money.
Probably so. And I will say this. I will say this now. You know, we're in the middle of the ASUN conference. We had our first game last night, which wound up being a quarterfinal game because we had a bye in the first round, and we did not play well. We won, but we did not play well. We missed like 7 out of 8 free throws in the last 1 minute when we should have been putting the game on ice, but we did not. But nevertheless, we won. It was an ugly win, but we're still winning. We're in the semifinals tomorrow night, and we hope everybody in earshot of this will come out and support the Owls. And in a minute, we're going to bring on someone that I know will be there, but why don't we go ahead and get one of the commercials out of the way.
Let me just say that, you know, I like to mispronounce a lot of the teams that we have to play against just because I don't want to give them the benefit of any doubt. I'm still not sure. Is it Lipscomb or is it Lipscomb? I'm going Lipscomb. I think
it's lips. It's lip, but it's not. The emphasis is not on scum. It's just Lipscomb. Yeah.
I think there is an emphasis on that. Oh, what am I doing?
our commercial, Bearcat.
Bearcat. Do you need a delivery right now? Then go now, please. Bearcat Express has expedited shipping on hand-carried items, car, van, or pickup. Whether it's from Memphis to Augusta, Dothan to Charlotte, or even just Athens to Atlanta and all points in between, we've got the drivers to get your stuff where it needs to be. Whether your passport's still on the dresser, your 7-iron isn't in your bag, or you have a dog that hates to fly, Bearcat Express with their live tracking capabilities is the team to turn to. We are the go-to courier in the Southeast. Check us out at bearcatexpress.com.
And we thank you, Blair Cook, for being a sponsor of the Owl Show.
You had your shirt on in the first show.
Yeah, I got to support
too much of an
the
owl guy
Owls
at this
because
point.
we're going to talk baseball now. We're going to bring in one of my good friends. He was not only an avid basketball fan, but he's also a big baseball fan. Not only that, he's going to tell us a little story about what he's done for baseball. Patrick, come on in here, buddy. Big hooty hoo for Patrick Vickers. All right, Patrick. What do you? Oh, you got to push those. Yeah, those won't fit. The hat won't go on over
It's
that.
the only time he's taken that hat off.
Yeah, he sleeps in this hat. I think, so.
I was going to say, slide the hat over here so it's right in the middle there.
Yeah, that'd be
everybody
really
can stare at it.
And don't walk off and forget that because
I won't.
Somebody will take it home with them.
Don't worry about that.
So welcome again, Patrick. Been a while since you've been with us.
Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate y'all having me back.
Glad you're coming back.
Before we get into your baseball story, give me your thoughts on that game last night.
That was that was a tough game. I'm one of these people that's a basketball traditionalist, so things like inbounding the ball and foul shots should be automatic. And we did not perform well at all last night from the line. I think we left 13 points on the table. We missed 13 free throws, and if we had made those, it wouldn't have been a close game.
And I'm sure Coach Amir hounded on that after the game. Yeah,
I would expect so.
Yeah. They have very similar inbounds play, especially when they're under the basket. They always wound up throwing out over the top of everybody, either to Alex Peterson or to Demond Robinson. So, but, both of those guys, for big guys, they handled the ball very well.
Very well.
Yeah. And even when Demond Robinson shoots free throws, great touch. He scored 24 points last night, I think, was the leading scorer. Best game I've seen him play. But if we could put
and
that,
we needed it.
Oh yeah, we did. But if we could put that together with Chris Youngblood shooting and Burden driving to the rim and throwing the ball up, and Brandon Stroud, and we didn't mention this, but Coach Amir was named the ASUN Coach of the Year this week, and I think one of the players was it Youngblood that made first team All ASUN,
correct,
and Terrell Burden made second team. Is that right? So kudos to all these great guys for working so hard to make the Owls who they are today.
Let me ask you this. I personally think a strategic loss or a close game sometimes works out wonders. If we'd have won that game by 25 points, Coach doesn't have a lot to talk about today or tomorrow or anything. I think this game might galvanize us a little bit and make us a little bit better. How about you?
I hope so. I think that's an excellent point. If they had blown out Queens like I thought they were going to.
I did too.
After Queens came in and beat us on our home floor a couple of
only team to do it this year.
Like a week and a half ago.
Correct.
Saturday, we go Saturday.
I was expecting the Owls to come out really ready to draw blood.
And we did. We scored the first 8 points. And I said, we're on the way.
Yeah, but then nothing was falling for us.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think that'll be a great motivational tool, and maybe the guys will work even harder in preparing for this next game against Lipscomb.
Because we did only play Lipscomb one time this year as well.
Yeah, but we beat them by 10,
like
15
13
points. Yeah. Were you at that game? I know I was at that game.
I think I was at that game.
Yeah, but, it's funny, and I understand what you're saying about close games, but I think a close game where it's very competitive and both teams play well is a lot better than when one team plays well and the other team just – I never thought we were going to win that game. Throughout the whole game, I said, we're not going to win this game. We just don't look good. But like we say, when there's a win – it's a win, and you move on to the next round.
And I know what you're saying. Yeah, it'd be ideal if, both teams were firing on all cylinders and you only – but, at the end of the day, it's win in advance. It's the mantra of March. and we got the W.
Or February yesterday.
February.
Yeah.
February Madness. Catch it here on
Fact
campus.
of February and the mantra of March. I kind of like that.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the horrible officiating of that game. I have never seen.
What, last night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every game, it's the same. And I don't know if it's just a lack of training with the ASUN. Maybe they don't care since so many schools are leaving the conference.
Yeah.
But I hope Conference USA's referees
well,
are
and obviously
better.
you go up a level, your referees get better and everything. You know, it's kind of weird that you said that, though, because Chuck, the gentleman to my left, loves the referees and thinks that they do an impeccable job every time he shows up at the Convocation Center.
If you had been there for the Liberty game, you would have heard how much I love the referees.
I think I had blood in the Q-tip the next day. He was screaming so much at that poor guy.
But they did miss a lot of walking calls last night more than anything else.
And then stopping a fast break to mop the floor. Give me a break.
Well, I don't think they were on a fast break. I know
Well.
which play you're talking about. And me and my buddy, Steve Pearson, I was with, he said, yeah, that's probably a good thing to do. But nobody understood when they were reviewing the flagrant one what was going on. Now, and I know people like the PA announcer. I'm not a big fan. He's just a little over the top for me, but he's got to understand what is.
That's his job.
But he's got to understand he doesn't know what an offensive foul is. If they shoot the ball and we rebound and they come over our back to rebound, and he said, that's offensive. That's not an offensive foul. That's a rebounding foul. It's not an offensive foul. So he needs to get that clear. He does get the crowd riled up, but he just likes to hear himself talk more than anybody else I've ever met in my life.
Maybe second, but that's a different story, too.
Well, no, you're second.
No, I think I'd be ahead of him. I don't know. Love to hear my voice.
So there have been calls, a couple of flops in the Liberty game that got called charges, and they were obviously flops. So I agree with you, but having been a referee for probably 3 years when I was in college and 17 more years, like in the last 2 decades, I kind of get it, but that's not an easy thing to do. But my rule when I referee, if you see something, call it. If you don't see it, don't blow your whistle.
How about calling it both ways?
Yeah.
Because there seems
Consistency is a tough thing for referees.
Hey, I got another idea to do.
Oh, God.
Go out and kick some butt and not worry about the zebras. You know, if you put it in the zebras' hands, you might be disappointed. You know, you go out and you take care of business, you win your matchups, and you know nobody ever talks about
the
them.
officiating doesn't
Absolutely.
matter.
The
You're
officiating
absolutely
doesn't
right.
matter. That's right. That's cool. So you'll be there tomorrow night, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We're looking across the court at each other, right?
Yep.
Patrick's sitting in the same place right behind the Owls bench every. But let's move on real quick because Patrick has a lot more going on at KSU than just basketball. If you notice this hat right here, Patrick designed this hat. How cool is that? And we want to hear the story about, were you asked to do this? Did you just say, I wanted to do this?
No, several years ago, I was talking to Mike Sansing up in the hospitality suite at basketball, and I told him, look, I'm an avid hat collector. Right now, I have about 3,760 baseball hats.
That's a lot of hats.
I told him I had this concept in mind.
You still only have that one head, though, right?
Right.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I've noted to my mother-in-law that I could wear a different hat every day for the rest of my life, and I probably wouldn't get through them before I'm in the ground.
Because
So-
you're going to keep buying them, so
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
Or designing them.
So
designing them.
I had an idea of using the old Montreal Expos hat as a model for Kennesaw State, and I said something to Mike Sansing about it, and he said, yeah, send me a drawing, and we'll see what we can do. And it never got beyond the sketch phase. So when I met Coach Coe last year when they were dedicating our legacy locker, I actually had concepts drawn for him. I had 3 different concepts with 3 different front logos. And his eye immediately went to this one. He said, I like this one. And so he gave it to his equipment manager. They went to the Adidas website and kind of mocked it up, and he sent me a picture by text, and he's like, is this what it's supposed to look like? And it was like, wow.
Holy crap.
That's like,
Cool.
this is really happening.
What a
That's
cool
pretty
moment
awesome.
for you that had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they ordered them. This was like last January of 21, and they came in either right before or right after we lost in the College World Series.
LSU.
So we decided we'll wait till this season to debut the hat. He said, you pick whatever game you want us to wear it at, come throw the first pitch out. And so I wanted to pick a game that we had a good shot of winning.
Absolutely.
So that's why I chose
absolutely.
Long Island University, Brooklyn.
And so how long?
The Shocks.
Yeah. The
From
Shots.
Long Island.
From Long Island.
Long Island.
So Patrick was fortunate enough to be able to throw out the fast pitch. Fast pitch. It was a fast pitch too, wasn't
It was a fast pitch first pitch.
Did they clock your first pitch?
I don't think so. If they did, nobody told me what the speed was.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying it was the fastest pitch, but it was in the strike zone. And I'm
all it
sure a
takes.
real player would have cranked it out of the park.
Well, I've got to ask you this: were you there when Carrick threw his first pitch?
I sure was.
Was his a strike too?
I remember it being pretty close if it wasn't a
Okay.
strike.
Boy, that's a politically correct answer. I
Well-
don't know. We got-
Carrick is going to be here in a few minutes. He just texted me and said he's coming by.
Well, he'll remember.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I know how Maynard G.
yeah, we
Krebs'
know how
story
Maynard
is
G.
going to
Krebs'
go.
story will go.
My
They
policy.
split the middle with a 94
Cutter.
two-seamer.
My policy is when a guest throws out the first pitch, if it doesn't bounce or go over the catcher's
It's a
head,
strike.
it's a
Absolutely.
success.
There's
So,
Absolutely.
So, basketball or baseball? Which one's your favorite sport?
oh, baseball. Oh,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
I'm a native North Carolinian, so college basketball's a religion.
The
there.
Dean Dome.
So
Do you
Yeah.
follow professional in those two? Are you
not
MLB or NBA?
MLB, absolutely. I'm
so much
more of a
NBA.
fan of minor league because I grew up going to Durham Bulls games.
I kind of figured when you said 4,000 hats that there was a lot of. You probably have the
Been to some
Isotopes
ball
hat and the
I do
Mud
have a-
Hens hat.
Both.
Yeah, I'm
name
sure.
a team, I probably got it.
And I have to tell you, Patrick, I thought I had a lot of hats. I have like 300. And when you said you had 3,000, I said, yeah, my closet's not much compared to Patrick's.
A little different.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, we appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yes, sir. The only other thing I'll mention is I've had a lot of inquiries about where to buy one of these. I'm trying to get the bookstore to order some, and Milton Overton told me this morning that the athletics department might be ordering a batch of them, so just stay
Well-
tuned to anybody who wants to get one.
Well,
And these are fitted, though, correct?
yes, they are fitted.
So make sure whoever puts that order in
6 and
What's
7 eighths.
puts a really big fat one there because
For Chuck.
I don't have a big fat
no,
head.
it's my head.
You look to
Listen,
be
Pinhead. Adam the
7
Pinhead. We're
5/8
going Adam
maybe?
Pinhead. from now.
Depending on, I'm usually 7 3/4.
Okay, and you're, I
I
would
don't
say,
know.
a
I'm
7 1/4 probably.
Yeah.
Which one?
I'm
What's
probably
this?
That's a
7.
7.5.
Well, let me see.
That one's gonna fit Chuck, but it's gonna look
No,
like.
it's going to be too big. Look at that. I told you. It is too big.
Okay. So now let's compare this, just so everybody can watch that. You saw what Scooter looked like, and now I'm gonna look.
Scooter?
Like, yeah, you look like a 4-year-old named Scooter when you put that thing on your head. Now you're gonna see what Adam Sandler looks like with the beanie on his head.
All right.
It's actually.
It's not
bigger.
bad.
It's not, I mean, it's a little bit, but
I thought you looked a little bit like the beaver.
I think this could fit over his thing.
It might could. I think I'm 6 and 7 eighths. I don't know, but that's pretty close. That's cool. Well, we'll help promote it on our show, right?
Yes.
If you bring one, we'll sit it right here, and every week we'll offer it to sale.
Well,
Scooter
I'm not
Scooter will
making-
wear it all the time.
I want to make it clear I'm not making any money off of these. So
Well, if I'm Scooter, you're Beaver, because you go with what you want to go with.
If we're doing that, then call me Eddie Haskell. I'd rather be Eddie Haskell.
All right. That's
who's
cool.
Larry Mondello as well?
Larry. That'd be Larry.
Yeah, but that's a guy who knows the show. I like that. I
That's
like that.
Lumpy, right? No, Mondello was the little short
was
guy.
Beaver's
Correct, he was
buddy.
Beaver's buddy.
Yeah, not Wally's buddy. Yeah. Well,
Not
Patrick,
Lumpy.
thanks as always,
Yes,
buddy.
sir.
And
Good seeing
good
y'all.
luck with your
Beautiful
hat.
hat. Look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. A big hootie hoo for Patrick Vickers. There you go. So before we bring on the prettier third of our show, let's get another commercial out of the way.
I didn't know
Modern
ATI was
Image.
coming on this show.
No, I said pretty, not prissy.
Man, you talking about getting thrown under the bus.
Listen, he's had it now. Pinhead, Prissy Pinhead. That's going to be his new nickname.
All right, Scooter, hush up. Modern Image is a locally owned document and photograph scanning company that helps clients secure and use paper files and photos. Whether it's important business files or sentimental family photos and videos, Modern Image is dedicated to helping clients solve problems around paper. Hootie hoo.
Go Owls.
Go Owls.
Go Owls. All right. As I said, we welcomed a new guest who's not been on the show before, and she is going to join us right now, Miss Heather Pennington. Heather, big hootie hoo for Heather. Listen to that crowd. Listen to those people clap for you. Is that amazing?
That's amazing.
Well, welcome to the show, Heather.
Thank you.
No, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Night. Yeah. So you'll get up to the mic where we can hear you a little bit better.
Sure.
Tell us what your connection is with KSU, how you got involved with KSU.
So it's kind of full circle for me.
Oh, we got time.
Yeah, okay. Well, as a former alumni, several-time alumni, getting my bachelor's, master's, started my doctorate, then it kind of morphed into doing contracts for the university while Dr. Papp was still there. So
And Pap? Yep.
Yeah, and Papp, yeah. So it kind of started with the soccer stadium. And the first project we did was actually the video for the soccer stadium when it was just the soccer stadium.
Before it was Fifth Third Bank.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the first project that my firm that we ever did, and then it led into doing like work for the executive MBA program, international, just a bunch of different departments. But I would say the most exciting was when we knew football was on the horizon.
Right.
And that was 2015, right? It's when
Well,
the first season
2015,
was, but
right.
on the horizon.
He's probably talking
like
2013.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It was when they didn't even know if they were going to get it, approved with the Board of Regents, and I just knew, oh wow, I'd love to have that.
And lo and
Absolutely.
behold, that little smile got it. Yeah. And that's about when we met, isn't it? Somewhere around 2012, 2013?
I think so. I think we
Yeah.
knew each other for a couple years before.
Yeah, you were at Third Day Media then? Is
Day
that
3
right?
Media.
Day 3
yeah,
Media.
Day 3 Media.
Yeah.
Then I morphed into I Speak Business.
God, we go way back.
We do.
That's amazing.
I know.
Yeah. So, did you have a love for sports before you really got involved with this, or?
I mean, I grew up with brothers, and my dad really into sports, so I've always really enjoyed sports. But I had never did a full-on rollout of marketing for a football program, at the university college level.
Most people haven't.
Right.
Let
I know.
I
let
know I
alone for a
haven't.
team that has never been before. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Lots of research.
Absolutely.
Looking at a lot of the big programs that were out there,
Sure.
and looking and seeing what they've done well and what could we learn from it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not always what they do well, it's what didn't they do well, and how can we make sure we're not
We're
that
not doing
person.
that, right?
Absolutely.
And what
Exactly.
programs did you look at? Did you look at local programs, or schools the same size, or?
Yeah, I looked across the country. I looked, of course, Nick Saban has had such a successful career with University of Alabama, and then looking at
And LSU before
and
that.
LSU, that's
Yeah.
right, and then looking at UGA. I mean,
We don't want to talk about that.
well, we still had to look at it because it's in the
Okay.
state of Georgia, right?
He's just very spiteful. It's okay. Continue.
Okay, yeah. We still had to take a look at the Bulldogs, right? Kennesaw State being like right there, neck to neck with
Absolutely.
the amount of students, and pulling the fan base that we've never had football. So just having to look at all the different programs and try to come up with ideas of what we were going to do.
Well, and, I just thought of something that I'd never thought of, which happens all the time on this show. But, there's certain parts of the country want to hear things a certain way. So there's something that an Oregon, somebody might say to a fan of Oregon sports that you wouldn't want to say to. So it's a good thing to check with the Georgia and the Georgia Tech, because these are the
Right.
people who you're trying to tap into and pull from. So, So
Exactly.
it makes sense that there's a lot of homework involved.
Well, yeah, and think about, too, like we have this cute little owl, right? We're going from this little owl, and then how are we going to turn that into, like, a fierce
He's a
owl? in
bad
football?
man.
Yeah, big bad owl, right?
Yeah, Scrappy just doesn't sound like a fierce owl.
Yeah, but if you put an axe handle in his hand and meet him in the middle of a hallway, and
Then he
looks
becomes
pretty tough.
Scrappy the Axe Owl.
Right.
It's pretty tough.
That's cool. So, was football the main sport you worked on, or was it all sports? Or
So we were involved with all the sports.
Yeah.
We started working with the athletic director at KSU at the
It was
time.
Vaughn Williams, yeah.
Yes, yes. So we were working in other areas of the sports. So when I was aware that football was on the horizon, I was like, wow, this is going to be some stiff competition, because it did go out to bid.
Yeah.
They had to put that out.
Right.
Yeah, they can't just hand it over because you're cute.
No.
Well, but a small university. You think about had they been doing something in 19 whatever, when there was only 5 buildings, they might have just
How did you know that?
they might have just farmed that out. But this is a big university. They've
right.
got to farm it out. We got to make sure the good old boy network isn't in place
Exactly.
too much.
Yeah, I mean, it went across the United States. I know there were
Wow.
several people, down to the wire as far as that was trying to get the contract for this.
Yep. Do you know who any of them were? Or
I don't. I mean, of course, I was curious, like, what am I up against? I know there was a big company out west that's all they did was sports marketing, you know? So I do know that there was quite a few people that had put in bids.
so what do you think put Heather Pennington above these other companies?
I think just, our reputation here in the community, as you know, Chuck, you've known me a long time, just doing work for all types of businesses and having relationships with the people here locally, I think that played a part of it. And then just also doing my homework and making sure that I had ideas to bring to the table,
Do you remember your favorite idea that you came up with?
No, I don't know about that. Maybe it was the video. I don't know if many people would remember, but the very first video that we did was with Coach Vince Dooley, and it was passing the football over to Vaughn. And so, I really, really like that concept. That was, the first video we ever did for football.
So handing off kind of from Vince to Vaughn. Oh, Vince Vaughn. No, that's not right.
Dooley over to Vaughn.
Sorry.
No.
Don't say it, sissy pinhead.
You said prissy.
Oh, yeah, prissy
Yeah.
pinhead. I'm sorry.
Which actually fits me, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
cool with that.
Okay.
Scooter, focus.
All right. So, yeah, Vaughn was really good to work with. And how long did your relationship last with the school? How long was your contract, I guess?
So the contract was a year to just get everything up and going, and then as we were building out that department for football, we started pulling back. But it was a year contract. That's what we were awarded for a year-long contract as we built out the program for football.
Yeah, and what do you I mean, it's grown a lot just since you were involved, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with the acquisition of Southern Poly and all that stuff, we went from what? How many students did we have before Southern Poly? 25,000 or something like that?
Something like that.
And now we're 44,000.
Yeah,
It's a huge school,
is a huge
second
school.
largest in the state.
So how long was the firm that you worked for in charge?
So for the football program?
For the football or anything else going on at KSU?
So this was my first firm, Day 3 Media, and we did probably work for a good 4 to 5 years total with
Okay.
different departments at Kennesaw
I got
State.
it. So like 2013 to 2018, something like that.
Something like that.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's been a good 4 or 5 years.
So you learned a lot of different departments and everything else. What's the favorite sporting event you've ever been to at a KSU function?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
I think I would have to say maybe not the very first, but the whole first season of football and having those season tickets, it was exhilarating. Our goal was to literally fill those seats, and we did a great job. We didn't have enough seats.
Right.
That was exhilarating to be, okay, here I've been a part of rolling out this football program, and I'm sitting in the stadium before we even had players, before we had jerseys. We're
Right.
taking pictures of mock-up players, right? And I'm sitting there in the stadium getting to watch these games.
That's pretty crazy.
It's pretty exhilarating.
That is cool. Did you get to go to any away games?
No, I didn't get to go to away games at the time. My son was young and he was playing soccer, so it was a little tough. I was like, okay, KSU games or soccer games?
Family comes first, right?
Yeah.
So, do you still go to games, or have you been to one lately? Or
Milton had gotten me tickets. I guess this would have been in the last maybe year or two when I got to go.
football?
Yeah, football.
Have you been to any of the other sports?
No, I'm waiting for someone to give me an invite. Hint, hint.
Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Convocation Center. I know you're going out of
Okay.
town Friday, though, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this weekend.
Yeah. It's
I like how casually she name dropped there. Well, Milton.
oh, Milton. Oh, so you want
That's the athletic director at KSU.
yeah? So, want to go ahead and
In case
ask her
you're
that
wondering.
question because of her name dropping. You want to ask her the question?
Oh Boy, what's the question?
Well, the question is, who is the most famous person in your phone?
Ooh, wow.
You get to make somebody's day, and you get to show them the video. Hey, make sure you look this up because, you know.
And if it's not me, I'm going to cry.
Oh,
It is not you, Chuck.
You're putting pressure right there.
No pressure. I'm good.
Oh, gosh.
We've had anywhere from
We've had a lot of interesting ones.
Samuel L. Jackson was probably the.
Okay, you guys, I've had a really exciting marketing career. I have stuff with Evander Holyfield. I've got Mike Tyson. I've got Charles Barkley.
You've got all of their phone numbers in your phone?
Not phone numbers, no.
Oh, okay.
No,
Like,
in your
just
cell
met-
phone.
Yeah.
In your cell phone.
In my cell phone, like on speed dial. Yeah, I don't know. I would say probably. I love Vaughn. I'm going to say, you know.
Vaughn Williams, he's great.
Yeah,
Now,
great guy.
you mentioned Boston College earlier. Vaughn's still at Boston College, isn't he?
I believe so.
That's where he went to from here.
Correct.
So he's the AD, I guess, at Boston College
Hopefully he comes down for the whooping we're going to throw on the Jesuits this weekend.
on the Jesuits. I love that. Yeah, yeah. So baseball's home this weekend. There are a lot of good things going on.
Lots of home stuff.
At home. I'm looking at the composite calendar for the month of March, and it's just nuts. Because originally when we started doing our show, we said, we'll probably just do it during football, and we won't do it beyond that. But we've got more stuff going on now than just a football game every week to talk about. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Maynard G. Krebs just made it in
Maynard
from
G.
the Flats.
Krebs is in the house. So that's kind of cool. Maynard, do you know Heather Pennington? Heather, it's not really Maynard G. Krebs. It's Carrick Martin. Carrick, can we set up the fourth mic for Carrick to sit in here with us?
I don't know if you can set it up. I don't know if we can hear him on that one.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to hear Carrick. We can hear ATI on it, so we'll be able to hear Carrick. So, yeah. Carrick, say hey to
Yes, it's a
Heather,
sacrifice.
Heather
I have to
Carrick.
make.
There.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, Carrick, Heather worked with Vaughn on the original marketing plan for KSU Sports. And that's,
For the football program when it first started out.
yeah.
Awesome.
So that's why she's here with us today. Talk a little bit about how sports got started at KSU. And Carrick is a Hall of Fame member as a sponsor and donor for KSU Sports. And he's the one that actually got us doing this crazy, crazy show. So we're going to let him. He just came back from the Georgia Tech KSU baseball game. And Carrick, I hear it's not good news to report.
Well, in the short term, we lost the game 5-4 to the number 16 team in the country, and we played.
Who's now 9-0, right?
Yes, and we played 7 freshmen and pitched 3 freshman pitchers.
And had a 4-2 lead?
Yes, and Tech got 2 guys on base, and a pitcher made a mistake, and one of their studs hit it a long way. I will tell you this, and I told the coaches this on the bus coming back. I'm very happy with what they're doing, very proud of them, and they said, go ahead and buy your tickets for 2025 because that's when the freshmen and sophomores will be juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
And get ready and hold on to the bus. We had freshmen out there, several freshmen throwing over 90 to 94 miles an hour.
Wow.
The guy that we had that was a big stud pitcher last year that I thought was throwing so hard, he was only throwing 90, but they whipped out a couple of 2 freshmen that were throwing 94. So,
Wow.
I was pleased.
You were pleased. Yeah, and that's only our second loss, right? We lost our first game to Long Island University.
Yeah,
and
the
then
very
we
first half inning, we lost that game. 'Cause
Correct.
I think we gave up 8 runs or something like
correct.
that. But,
Yeah.
we've been on a roll. This weekend, we have Boston College coming in for a 3-game series.
We were just talking about that. Do you know if Vaughn is coming back for those?
Well, Vaughn is not with Boston College
Oh, he's
anymore.
not.
He
With
is
what we were
new
talking.
A school up there I had never heard of, Bentley University, that is
Okay.
going from NAIA to D2, and maybe now they're talking about doing D2 to D1, I think.
Carrick knows everything.
Yes, everything
I read
KSU.
Facebook way too much.
Everything KSU. We'll leave it at that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we were talking about you when Patrick was on, because Patrick said that when he threw his first pitch, it was definitely a strike. He wasn't so sure about yours.
trying to have movement on it. So, they were going to be swinging and hitting something into the dirt. So Patrick, he just throws those flat balls that, go over the fence.
He did say that anybody could have hit his pitch, but he said it was in the strike zone.
See, my hand, is that middle finger just holds on to that ball a little bit longer.
And you get that spin.
Yeah, he's like the guy who the Cubs pitcher Wood. He just
Kerry Wood.
Kerry Wood. He's
Yeah.
just breaking off the table.
Breaking off
This is
the
obviously
table.
really impressing Heather with this. I can tell that
Yeah, Heather.
we have digressed into guy talk.
Well, that's all right. Heather, well, she's definitely not a guy, but she's around enough athletes. Her son's an athlete, so she's enough about that. We asked Heather who her most famous person in her phone was, and she said Vaughn, and that's how we got on there. So that's a pretty cool story.
Have we ever asked Carrick that question?
I think we have.
I don't think we have.
Didn't he say Will Renfro?
Yeah, it would be Will Renfro or Patrick Vickers, one of those.
Yeah, Patrick was great again tonight. He brought his hat on and showed us his hat.
Yeah, that's a cool hat.
Very, very cool hat. So we're going to help him promote it when they get. He said they're ordering more hats for the bookstore, and Milton was going to get some too. So that's cool. That's cool. Why don't we go ahead and get our last commercial out of the way, and we'll talk a little more with Heather and Carrick. This is fun having
We got all
people
sorts
on.
of
We got
people
all
on
kinds
here.
of people on here today.
Supreme Lending was founded in 1999 with one goal in mind, to improve the mortgage process. Since then, we've been doing just that. Here we deliver exceptional service and some of the fastest turn times in the industry. Our team will stay in touch with you throughout the process and get your home closed quickly and conveniently. Whether you are buying or refinancing, our goal is to have you clear to close in 30 days or less so that you can focus on all the other things that you have to deal with. Whether it's your first mortgage or your 1,000th, make it supreme. Find us on the web at alvinjameson.com or give us a call at 865-357-6500.
So, again, thank you, Alvin and Supreme Lending and David McDonough and Modern Image and Blair Cook and Bearcat Express for being sponsors not only of the Owls Show, but the Three Guys Who Love Sports, which comes on at 5 o'clock before the Owls Show. Now, we do have a special guest calling in shortly, we hope. He's going to be reporting from the women's game.
Live
at
from the
KSU.
Convocation Center.
Live from the Convocation Center. Garrett Brackett is supposed to be calling in at halftime to give us the women's score, assuming it's less than an hour. So we'll be out of here by 8.
And just for the record, he didn't say it, but when Carrick was going through his mind for who the most famous person in his phone, Garrett came in third.
Garrett came in
He didn't say it, but it was understood. It was understood that Garrett was number 3.
And Prissy Pinhead, I think, was number 4.
Scooter, you just need to focus.
Thank you, Beaver. So, mentioning all these sports, Heather, did you play any sports when you were in high school?
I didn't. I was probably more of like, you talk
You're
about
the
Prissy.
cheerleader?
Yeah, I was the cheerleader and gymnastics and dance. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Gymnastics, I mean, now it is a sport.
But I was a tomboy. I had, like go-kart and playing in the woods and driving four-wheelers and motorcycles. So
and a lot of time on the water. You spend a lot of time on the water.
Yes, on the beach.
That's cool. Well, Carrick, while we're talking, give us your take on the ball game last night, because you and I haven't talked since last night. Ugly.
Well, yeah, I think you got to give credit to Queens. Queens is a very athletic team,
They are.
and they were able to throw us out of our rhythm again, and we had to fight back. So
And I wonder how that is that they did that. I'd like to get inside that circle. And
Certain matchups just happen that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because probably top to bottom they were just as athletic or a little bit more, and when they had the ball, they focused on getting the ball to their 2 guards, and they drive inside and shoot. I mean, they had
15 and 5, yeah.
38 points in the paint.
Yeah.
So, and I was going, I thought we had dominated because DeMond had so many points last
Correct.
night.
24 last night, yeah.
They had 38 points in the paint.
Yeah. At one point, I think 90% of our points had come from DeMond Robinson and Alex Peterson, because that's what we were doing. We couldn't hit a 3, and we were talking when DeMond Robinson was out of the game and Chris Youngblood and Terrell Burden were all out of the game with 3 fouls midway through the second half. We had no offense on the court. None. And we couldn't get anybody to score. And then, of course, the free throw trouble that we had at the end of the game is something I'm sure Coach Amir addressed today.
Well, the fortunate thing on that is we only shot 50% on our free throws for the game. Do you know what Queens shot for their free throws?
Less than that.
They shot 50%.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they hit some late that we didn't. But everything that we hit, every free throw we took it against Liberty, in the clutch time we hit. And last night we didn't hit anything in clutch time. Chris Youngblood made that one free throw that put us ahead, and that wound up being the winning point.
Win and advance.
I will tell you that the last 2 free throws that Chris shot, he missed the first one, and I believe he missed the second one on purpose, so they had to
Get the
record
clock
start.
Clock
Yeah.
would start.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Garrett was sitting next to Chris's dad last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said his dad was not happy. But that was fun. But that's the way basketball dads are, right? Yeah, that's cool. So I was a little surprised at the size of the crowd last night. I know we had over 3,000 for Liberty last Thursday night, and we only had 2,239 last night.
I was told it was 2,900.
Well, the website says 2,239, so that's what I was going
I
by.
was told we had 1,700 students and about 1,200
Wow.
regular people.
Yeah.
So,
It wasn't as loud as Liberty, that's for sure.
no.
No.
We do have an opportunity, though, because tomorrow night, Thursday night, should be a good crowd. But Sunday, we need to encourage everybody to come out because next week is spring break for students.
Yeah.
So I don't know how y'all were at spring break, but, I was very studious and stayed home and studied.
That's why we call him Maynard G. Krebs.
Maynard G. Krebs, he was
So,
all over it.
Because I was always broke. But we need to encourage people to come to the game Sunday.
Absolutely.
If
And,
we
if
win
you're,
tomorrow night.
Well,
If
I was gonna
you're-
say, we
if-
got to get by tomorrow night first after the way we played last night.
but if you're listening, if you can hear our voices right now and you're somewhere within a stone's throw of the campus, know that they need you there tomorrow night. They need you there Sunday. You're getting ready to go away. You've got nothing else to do. And who would have really thought when you came to KSU that you would have this type of possibility to go to the final, to go to March Madness when, how many years was it ago that they had one win?
3 full seasons ago.
3 full seasons ago, this team only managed to win.
And you add up the last 4 seasons before this year combined, and we had more wins this year.
You know,
than they
this
did
is
in all 14 years.
if you can't get behind this, you need to go see somebody because this is awesome stuff.
Yeah, it is. And can you imagine, Heather, that when you first started this is what it was going to be like?
No, you don't know. You try to have a vision of what it might look like, but no.
And there's a couple of our baseball players sitting in that booth right there.
Oh, that's a couple of baseball players.
Yeah, that's a couple of baseball players.
Baseball,
Hey, you guys play KSU baseball?
KSU baseball.
On the radio show.
We're talking about you. We're doing a show about KSU sports.
We've got a call in.
We all got to call in.
We think we got a Garrett Brackett.
We got Garrett on the phone. All right, let's hug. Garrett, you there, buddy?
Not yet, but Larry's pressing a lot of buttons on the phone. Don't hang up on us now, Garrett.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
yes. I'm afraid we can.
Garrett has blood running out of his eardrum, but yes, we hear you.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm not doing as well as the women are tonight.
Yep. Tell me.
I mean,
What's going on
it's
there?
43-20 now with 2 minutes left.
We're up or down?
Oh, we're up. We are way up.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's great. Girls look good. Coach Blue is rocking and rolling.
I think Coach Blue must have given them an ultimatum or something because I'm seeing more energy out of them than I've seen all season. And considering this team beat us by 5, we played them. Being ahead by 20 plus is huge.
That is.
And how much time's
awesome.
left?
2 minutes in first half.
2 minutes in the first half and already up by 20. Like it.
Yep, it's looking good. And this would be if we can keep this up for the rest of the game, this will be a good way to go in the tournament.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: did you talk to Henry?
I did.
And what was Henry?
He's ready.
He's ready. So next week
He's ready.
on our show, we're going to have Henry Brackett. our first teen, our young guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Henry is the kind of guy that we're looking for, the kids that will grow up loving the Owls, and believe me, Henry already does, along with Avery and Beth and Garrett, and the whole Brackett family. So
Absolutely.
we're excited about Henry being on next week. Tell him to brush his hair, will you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we just gave him haircuts today, so they'll be all ready for next.
Hey, yeah, he does not have to worry about his hair. He's going to be wearing a headset, so you just tell him to come on in.
That's right.
That's cool.
There you go.
Are you giving the referees a hard time at the game, Garrett?
No. Actually, I'm having a good time with the refs tonight. It's definitely not a men's game. It's much more friendly.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you calling in, buddy, and give us an update. And go Lady Owls, and we'll see you next week. Or see you tomorrow night at the game, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yep. See you then.
All right,
Go
buddy.
Owls.
Hooty
Go
hoo.
Owls, man.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. So that's our first live report call-in. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. And we confirmed our first adolescent fan of the week.
Yes, we did.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Henry's what, 9? You got to be 9 or 10 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So that's really cool. Garrett, can you get the scoops on your phone, or what's going on?
He's getting all sorts of
I was
updates.
just checking what time it was because I was hoping y'all would let me talk for a minute at the end.
Well, actually, I wanted to, and I was going to ask you, we haven't talked about the 2 new coaches for the football team. And
Oh.
they both got confirmed today, offensive and defensive coordinator.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yep. Can you share that with us?
I don't know if you saw that our new offensive coordinator is Chris Klinakis.
From Liberty, correct?
He was the line coach at Liberty, but he was also has been an offensive coordinator in the past, and he has worked with 2 very famous quarterbacks. Although one of them's a little controversial, but he has made Lamar Jackson a better quarterback and made Colin Kaepernick a better quarterback.
And which one of those is controversial?
I don't know. But anyway, when he was offensive coordinator at Nevada, they were averaging over 600 yards a game, which is even better than what our triple option was doing.
Absolutely.
So I'm very excited about that. And was it Nathan Burton is the new
Defensive coordinator.
So,
Yeah. And where is he from?
he is the USFL New Orleans Breakers.
Oh, wow.
And had been previously at Georgia Tech and had been around the college circuit around. So
We know he knows what he's talking about. He coached at Tech.
yeah, I think he left 3 years ago. So he came with Collins and then left sometime a year or 2 after. So
After Collins got there.
Well, and I'm just going to stop you real quick because that's so awesome that our offensive coordinator has a pedigree with 2 well-known quarterbacks. People have been talking about Deion Sanders and how everybody's following Deion. Well, guess what? If you're going into somebody's living room and you let them know, hey, the guy who I'm going to entrust your son with has made 2 NFL quarterbacks. This is the kind of selling feature that gets you into that door and might get somebody on the bus. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I talked to Coach Bo, a couple of weeks ago, and he said, that and the fact that your Conference USA will open a lot of doors. Yeah.
yes,
So-
that would be very exciting. Very very good. Happy about that.
Yep. So were those?
what else?
I was going to say, were those the things you wanted to have a few minutes to talk about?
Well, my understanding is the fundraising for the new baseball stadium is rumored to be going very well. So I'm very excited about that. We have one very large donor, Mickey Dunn, who's going
Thank you, Mickey.
$2.5 million into it, and maybe more. But they have 3 people that they're close to working with: one for a field, one for a plaza, and one for a concession stand area. So those are all supposed to be substantial gifts. So
I think 2.5 will buy the larger bases that the MLB has gone to.
The pizza box bases,
It covers everything.
yeah,
And I got to tell you, you need to get back in touch with Clay Caldwell, because once you gave me the tickets to take him to the basketball game, that guy won't stop texting me about KSU.
He loves it.
Yeah, he loves it. It was
tell
awesome.
them to come Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to come Sunday. Everybody's already talking about Sunday. I said, let's
get
let's
there.
get past
Gotta get
tomorrow
there.
first. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just very excited about the state of the baseball stadium, just based on these rumors I hear.
Yeah.
So
I've heard a couple things about it, and they say it is going to be the most state-of-the-art facility we have to offer, and is going to just set the bar so high that for the next stadium that gets built or the next addition to the complex?
Well, one of our goals with the Athletic Association is to have a stadium that will hold a regional, an NCAA regional. So that stadium, when it's built, will accomplish that. And just after going today to the Georgia Tech Stadium, that
Very
Rush
nice
Chandler
ballpark.
Stadium is a very nice ballpark. With some suites and covered seating areas for private seating.
Right.
They have their Hall of Fame, baseball Hall of Fame there, in a separate thing, and you have an upstairs area you can go watch baseball, and a separate concession stand area. It was a very impressive stadium.
It is, even if I say so, even if it's Georgia Tech.
Even with the knuckleheaded Georgia Tech students who were neither very witty, original, or literate.
You texted me and said there were more KSU fans there than there were Tech fans.
There were at the start, but by the end of the game, there were more Tech people there.
Yeah, that's cool. Speaking of fans, did Cole Loden come by last night and see you?
No, he did not.
He was at the basketball game,
Yeah,
sat up there with Will.
I heard he had the baby.
He did have the baby with him, which was really, really cool.
There's nothing like taking your infant child and just doing
5 months old, I
doing a
think.
Simba to them at the stadium.
He should have done that. I didn't think about
Absolutely.
it. The one thing that kept Will quiet, because Will held the baby for most of the first half, which was really cool. But that's a cool thing. Cole told us that he used to be one of the students at the game when there were 7 students at the game. So Cole's obviously supporting the Owls not only from a football perspective, but also basketball. So we've had a good time tonight, haven't we, Robert?
We have, and just to beat that rug or that dog one more time. Get out and go to the game. They need you there tomorrow night. We need you there Sunday. It's a heck of a time to be an Owl.
I will tell you this: the game against Liberty last week was the most exciting basketball game I've ever been to in my life, and I've been to a lot of college basketball games. But the crowd of over 3,000 that we had was amazing, and everybody there needs to be as vocal as the banana at the end of the court. This guy dresses up like a banana every week.
We had 3 last
Yeah,
night.
it's usually
I saw the
3
3 bananas there last night. Yeah, a bunch of bananas were there last night. So
I tried to tell somebody the exact same story, Chuck, about how exciting the game was. And, I went to Michael Jordan's last game. There were 70,000 people. That was boring. And, this was so exciting, and there was only 3,000 people there. Come out this weekend and make it 3,001 because it's an awesome experience.
it is an awesome experience, and don't wait till the weekend. Come tomorrow night. I will be there. If you want to meet me at 6:30, we'll all buy tickets and sit together. I am going to be hopefully where I was last night. I had good seats.
Not a bad seat in the house.
Nope, there's not. It's a lot of fun to be a part of the KSU Owls, and Carrick and I both graduated from Kennesaw Junior College at the same time.
Sparkling 2.8 GPA.
Yeah, show off. So we have a great time, and we want you to be a part of the Owls too. As we tell you every week, and don't skip without saying that. If you give $500 to Georgia to support an athlete that's now being arrested for stuff, or you also give it to Georgia Tech or to Clemson, you're not going to see much from that money. But if you give $500 to the KSU program, you're part of a family. You're part of something that's going to grow. And, we're going to the Conference USA, and now in a little over 17 months or 16 months. It's very close to us being Conference USA material. So we want to get everybody involved at the ground level. If you want to be a part of this show, if you want to be a part of KSU as it grows into Conference USA, text us at 470-9-GO-OWLS, and we'd love to talk to you. Love to have you on the show if you're a fan. We're going to go talk to these 3 baseball players over here and see if we can get them on at some point. Oh, there's only 2? Oh, who's the other guy?
Dad.
Oh, a dad.
They're allowed to have friends.
All right.
Their dads can take them out to eat.
Yeah, their dads can take them out to eat. Does that make them NIL players? If their dad takes them out to eat? No. Okay. All right.
No, but it shows that they need some NIL money, so.
Talk to us, people. So, Carrick, thanks for stepping in for us at the last minute. Heather, thrilled to have you with us. A lot of fun. It's not often we get the marketing side of people in here, but that was a fun take. Next week here at Miller's Ale House at 7 o'clock.
With a bracket.
With a bracket, and I think who was the other? Rick Limpet? Limpert. I think Rick's going to be on with us next week, but I also talked to Nick Massaroni, who is the guy on the microphone at the KSU ball games. If you see it on the court, Nick's going to be with us on the next couple weeks. Aaron Fromm's dad, we met him Saturday. He wants to be on. People are lining up to be on the KSU show, and you need to be next. We hope to see you next week. And until then, a big hooty-hoo. Hooty-hoo.
Owls.